Yeah, it's your boy Ray on the mic. Let's go.
Mic check, mic check. Welcome to On the Mic with Ray White, where we share life lessons, encourage self reflection, and equip you to take action. My name is Ray White, and I am juiced that you're taking time to listen to this episode today. And leaders, don't kill the vibe. I hope y'all remember Kendrick Lamar's song, Don't Kill My Vibe. Uh, it's a good one. It's a good one of his tracks. Um, of his catalog of content that he put out there. But the idea of us as leaders being the ones who set the culture, who set the stage, and create a space for staff members to stay, belong, feel like they have a place within the organization. We have a huge hand in creating a space and setting the vibe of the environment for these individuals, for staff members to feel like they have a place to be on the team. And we could be the ones that quickly can kill the vibe if we are not intentional about our ability to create that environment where every identity belongs and thrives. Now, what's unique about this whole vibe concept, right? Because the vibe is a thing right now, or has been the thing. I don't know if it still is. I'm an older millennial nowadays, so who knows what the hot lingo is right now. But creating a vibe is really truly important when it comes to somebody's ability to really be engaged in an environment. And whenever I think the word vibe, I think about the time when my friend Nick and I used to be DJs, MCs, DJs for our college, cutting the ones and twos for the school dances and, things of that nature at our university. And it was interesting because I remember when we first started, it was at a time when we were freshmen in college. We were at a dance and we saw, kind of what was happening at the dances, at one of the local fraternities or whatnot. And we were like, we could do better. We could do better. We were recognizing the type of music that was played. We were recognizing the kind of environment that was created. And we were like, we feel like we can do a little bit, we could do something in this space. So took a step back, we practiced in our dorm rooms and whatnot. And then we had an audition to perform at a dance for BSU, Black Student Union, one of their dances that they had on campus. We killed that, and then we had the ability to then sign on, like like we out here getting signed and whatnot. But we had the ability to link up with the school universities sound uh, job, essentially on campus work study, and be able to do that, get paid to do dances and open mic nights and kind of set up the sound for that. But it was just a pathway for us to essentially DJ for these dances and MC for these dances that the university was putting on every quarter. And what was fascinating about that was just how, like, we stepped into that kind of space with this idea that we knew the type of environment, we knew what we wanted the people to feel when they're on the dance floor. We knew the type of songs, we knew the type of engagement that we want them to have, and we play the right song at the right moment. Or with me on the mic, I'm saying, on the mic with Ray White, with me on the mic, I was on the mic and be able to help encourage the type of environment, the type of energy that we wanted to have in that particular space. And it was really on us. It was in our hands to create that for the people that we were hoping to have a good time at our parties. And that is something that I think about often. Obviously, I'm not DJing or trying to create that type of vibe in the workspace, but that same perspective translates. It carries over into the type of environment that we want our staff members to feel, our staff members to be a part of. And if myself as a leader, now that I'm overseeing, over 25 team members, I have to be truly intentional about the type of interactions that I want them to have, or the type of vision that I want to instill, the type of actions and activity that would increase our ability to be effective in this particular space. And if I am not conscientious of that, taking the actual steps to be intentional about making sure that's happening on a regular basis, then we will not be able to effectively be um, to do our work well. And we can also create a space where people don't feel like they could be their true authentic selves, or feel like their voices are heard, or have the ability to create real true change, or have their voices speak into the true change that we want them to want to make, because we're too I'm maybe too into myself, or not having the ability to create that space where people could speak into the activities that we want to create. So I don't want to be a vibe killer. I don't want y'all to be vibe killers, because vibe killers have the vibe killers would are individuals who are not necessarily in tune with what's going on with their teams. Vibe killers not are constantly, or maybe necessarily, ignorant in a way that their presence shows up in their particular space, or have particular biases to regarding identity markers or individuals or capacities that are set up to um, or bias. They are vibe killers are people who have biases towards a particular people group, or do not create up access or create space for people to speak into certain things that create the culture that is belonging and is inclusive in that context, right? Vibe killers are also people who don't even engage with their staff, who don't take the necessary steps to ask questions and talk to the people who are impacted by the decisions that we make. And vibe killers are also people who just are really unempathetic, who don't take a moment to step back and be in the shoes of the individuals who are receiving particular information, or who are impacted by a decision, and think about how they may feel during this particular time. I don't want y'all to be vibe killers. I want us to take a minute to step back and say, what is it that we can do to not kill the vibe through our leadership? And your boy like things in threes. So I got three things for y'all to think about of how we cannot be vibe killers when we are creating a culture and creating an environment for our teams where every identity belongs and thrives. And the first thing we got to do is that we got to be able to the vibe understand the vibe that is already happening on our teams, which really truly means getting a pulse of what it is our team members are wanting, thinking, feeling, and experiencing within the current context of the team and organization today, which require us to be truly observant with how people are interacting with our decisions, or with the initiative that we're working on, or just what's happening outside of our circle of control, and have a conversation to say, what is it about this activity or this initiative that impacts you, and really truly being able to create that space where there's conversation happening on what they are thinking and feeling within the space. But we have to take a minute to understand the vibe that's currently happening, understand current state, what it is that people are experiencing and thinking, which also then takes a step back to reflect and say, how am I contributing to this particular space? What am I doing to add to the vibe of this area, or not adding to the vibe? And be able to understand your position of power, or your social power that you have in creating or not creating the vibe that you want to see, or the people want to experience, right? So we have to understand the vibe, which leads to the second thing of defining the vibe that you want to have. As I reflect back on the DJing that me and Nick were doing way back in the day, we wanted the people to have a fun time. We wanted people to be hyped. If we had a 3-hour block where this dance was happening, we want people to be dancing for 3 hours straight, like, playing all the hits back in our childhood, and even some hot music today. That way people stay off the walls and into the center and having a good time, right? And wanted to be memorable for them to step into that space. when I think about my leadership, I also want that same concept. I want to define what type of engagement and what type of environment that I want people that I'm leading to feel, to experience. I want them to feel empowered to make decisions that are within their control to make. I want us to feel confident to create a space where we can have a dialogue about things that are really tough, but know that those tough decisions or those tough conversations are geared towards something that's going to make all of us better, and not in a way that's going to be demoralize or put somebody in a tough position in any way, right? I want all of us to, I want every person on my team to feel like that they have a voice and speak into the decisions that we make, and not feel punitive in their uh presence in that kind of way, right? But that is the type of vision that I wanted to create for our team members, and also encourage their team members to speak, my team members to speak into the type of vision that they want to have and they want to create for themselves and other team members being a part of that particular work. But in addition to creating that vision, we got to have actions that mirror that type of vision. So if I say I want team members to feel like they have a voice into the type of work that we are doing, then I need to make sure that I ask the question at the very onset that I receive initiative and say, hey, here's the initiative. What do you think that we can do to make this into reality? Or here's my idea towards making this initiative to in reality. But I want to hear from you. How do, when I say this particular activity, what does that mean for you? What does that mean? And how what do I need to do to change that, so that way you can feel, or so that way we can meet the end goal at the same time. So we got to not only have the vision, but we have to take action that it shows that demonstrates the type of vibe that we want to create for our teams. So understand what's happening current state, set up or understand what's happening current state with the defining or understanding the vibe that's currently happening. Create Define the future state by defining the vibe that you want to create today, which leads to the third thing of strengthening the vibe. Now, current state, future state, and as you are working towards a future state, you have to create the necessary steps to make sure that the vibe continues to move in the trajectory that you want it to go. And a couple of ways that you could do that is by making sure that whatever decision that you make, like I stated before, is in a co-creative space, that you are thinking about the future that you want everybody to experience and be a part of, and invite the voices to speak into that future, and invite the people to take ownership in what it's going to take to be to speak into that future, right? And then in addition to that, being able to not only speak into the future or create spaces where people can co-create into that, but take a step back and do a corporate reflection on how well we are doing towards reading that corporate reflection on how well we are doing towards reaching that goal, to the vibe or to the current future state that we want to reach, right? Now, that kind of ties into the reflection that you should be doing on a regular basis individually as a leader, of how well you are showing up or making an impact or creating that space where everybody identity belongs and thrives. But then you're bringing that same type of reflection and shedding and making that visible and bringing it to life for other people to also invite them into that reflection as well, and take inventory of what you should be doing, should not be doing, or should be continued to do to create, to strengthen that vibe that you're working to create as a team. And that way, that invites opportunities when you are bringing new people into the fold, that they feel it, they see it, and they know that they have a voice to speak into it as well, and not just a cog in a wheel, or not just seeing as somebody who has to fit into the culture, but they can add to the culture because you're inviting them to be a part of that culture. All right. So not being vibe killers means that you are understanding the current vibe of your organization by doing a current state analysis of what's going on. You're defining the vibe by understanding what future state you want to see within your culture. And then you're strengthening the vibe by constantly, continuously improving what it is that it takes to create that vibe that you want to see, to reach that future state that you want to have within your organization. So, leaders, you are culture change agents. You have the capabilities of shaping the culture for your team members for every identity belongs and thrives. And it takes all of us to be intentional about the type of environment that we want to create. And since we are setting the vibe, we need to make sure that the vibe that we are creating is one that is towards that inclusive, equitable space and not one that is just seeing individuals and perpetuating oppressive behaviors that we've created or that we've seen in our society from day to day. And I want love for you all to let me know what your thoughts about this. What type of vibe are you creating for your teams? And how are you creating that vibe for everybody to feel this sense of belonging on the teams that you create? You can find me at Ray Devante on all social media platforms. You can even subscribe to YouTube Raymond D. White and listen to the podcast on the mic with Ray White on wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And not only that, I want to be a helping hand and helping create this vibe or be a thought leader and thought partner in supporting you and creating this vibe for your teams as well. So if this is something that you would like some coaching in or support in to create that type of environment for your teams, I would love to be that. Have a conversation with you. You can shoot me a DM or just find me on social media and interview space. And I would love to have that conversation with you and just be a supporting hand in that as well. You need to share your story with others. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.